Okay, so let's talk about how to build a smarter AI. And I'm not talking about the giant brainy models themselves. I'm talking about how we feed them information to make them actually, useful for what we need.
We have all been there, right? You ask your company's chatbot a totally simple question about an internal document, and the answer it spits back is complete nonsense. It just feels like the AI is making things up, and you're left wondering if these tools are even worth all the trouble.
But here's the secret. The problem usually isn't the AI's brainpower. Think of it like this. You hire a genius-level researcher, right? But instead of giving them a nice organized library, you just shove them into a warehouse packed with random, unlabeled boxes. Well, that's what we're doing to our AI. It's not that the AI is dumb. It's that we've given it a messy, chaotic library to work with.
And this gets us right to the first big problem we have to solve. It's a classic issue in the world of computing, but it has come roaring back in the age of large language models.
You've probably heard this old saying, and for AI, it's more true than ever. The quality of the AI's answers depends entirely on the quality of the data it pulls from that library we gave it. If the stuff it finds is wrong or incomplete or just confusing, well, the answer it gives you is going to be just as bad.
You know, a badly built knowledge base can blow up in a few different ways. Obviously, you get bad or misleading answers. But there's also this weird thing called the lost-in-the-middle effect, where AIs tend to just ignore important info if it's buried deep inside a long document. And even worse, if you're not careful, the AI could accidentally pull and share sensitive data. It can be a real minefield out there.
So how do we fix this? How do we start organizing that messy warehouse of information? Well, the very first step is a process that sounds pretty simple, but is actually incredibly nuanced. It's called chunking. Chunking is basically the art of taking huge documents and breaking them down into smaller, meaningful, digestible pieces. So back to our library analogy, this is like creating super detailed cross-referenced index cards for the most important paragraphs, instead of just having a card for the whole book. It helps the AI find the exact little nugget of information it needs and find it fast.
Now, there are two main ways to do this. On one side, you've got fixed size chunking. This is the brute force method. Just chop the text up every 500 words or so. It's fast and cheap, but you run the very real risk of slicing a sentence right in half and just totally destroying the meaning. The much smarter way is called semantic chunking. That's where you split the text along natural breaks, like at the end of a sentence or a paragraph. This keeps all the meaning and context together, giving the AI much, much better material to work with.
Which, of course, leads to the million-dollar question. What's the perfect size for these little index cards? Should a chunk be just one sentence, a whole paragraph, or maybe an entire section of a document?
And the honest answer is there is no single right answer. It's all a trade-off. See, if your users are asking really specific, fact-based questions, then chunking by the sentence can be great. It creates these very focused, dense little packets of information. But if they're asking broader questions, a whole paragraph gives much better context. You really have to play around and experiment to see what works best for your specific situation.
Okay, let's move on to the next piece of the puzzle. Because once we have all our perfectly sized chunks of info, we need a way to organize them so the AI can actually find its way around. It's not enough to just have the index cards. You need a good card catalog system.
This is where the real magic comes in. It's a process called embedding. What we do is we take every single one of those text chunks and use a special AI model to turn it into a long string of numbers. It's called a vector. And these numbers work like coordinates, placing our chunk of text on a giant, multi-dimensional map based on what it means.
So the process is pretty straightforward. A piece of text goes into the embedding model, and out comes this set of numerical coordinates, this vector. It's basically a mathematical fingerprint of that chunk's meaning.
And this is why it's so incredibly powerful. On this map of meaning, chunks that talk about puppies and chunks that talk about dogs are going to be placed right next to each other. But a chunk about a car? That'll be way off in a totally different neighborhood. This is what lets the AI find information that's conceptually similar to what a user is asking, even if they don't use the exact same keywords.
So, here's a super important tip, and I mean, this one is a really big deal. You absolutely have to use the same map maker for creating your library's map and for understanding the user's question. If you embed your documents with one model and the user's query with a different one, it's like they're trying to navigate with two completely different maps. The whole search is just going to fail.
All right, once you've got the basics of chunking and embedding down, there are some pretty cool advanced techniques you can use. These can make your AI's library even better and help it handle really complex documents. For instance, you can add a little bit of overlap between your chunks, just to make sure ideas don't get awkwardly cut off at the edges. You can also have the AI generate summaries of larger sections and embed those. That's fantastic for high-level context. Another great trick is adding metadata, like the document title or section header, to each chunk. And now with these new multimodal models, you can even teach the AI to understand how text, tables, and images all work together in a document.
So now let's zoom out for a second and look at the whole assembly line. The whole process for building this high-performance knowledge base, from a pile of raw documents to a fully intelligent, searchable library.
And here it is, the whole four-step workflow. First, you ingest, or gather up all your raw documents. Second, you process them. That means cleaning them up and doing that super important chunking we talked about. Third, you run every single chunk through an embedding model to create its vector coordinates. And finally, fourth, you store all those vectors in a special kind of database, a vector database, that's built for lightning-fast semantic search.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that all the unglamorous, behind-the-scenes janitorial work of preparing your data, that's actually the secret sauce to a high-performing AI. It's not just about having the biggest language model. It's about having the cleanest, most well-organized, and most intelligently structured library of knowledge for that model to use. That's the real game changer.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty deep question to think about. As we become the librarians for these powerful new AI minds, we're not just organizing data, we're actually curating their reality. And that forces us to think really carefully about our role and our responsibility in shaping the knowledge of the AIs we build.